David Ritchie, joins me now for more on these results. Thank you so much for joining us. In terms of your concern for the future, we're still talking about the possibility of the UK falling in a double-dip recession. Is it now a real concern, and what are you doing to address that?
Well, from our perspective, we're not seeing that concern in our business. At the moment, we're seeing general stability both in the activity that we're seeing as customers come to speak to us, but also in pricing, and seeing stability over the last 6 to 12 months. From our perspective as a business, that's absolutely fine. We have put in place a growth strategy from 2009 onwards, which will give us the ability now to grow our business strongly in stable market conditions, and we haven't seen anything yet on the horizon that would suggest a double dip is likely to happen.
Now you've had some significant profit increase thanks to the fact that you've been able to double your operating margin. That is going to be much more difficult going forward. Will you still be able to pass on price increases?
Well, we don't see that as a difficulty, and actually it's not been driven by price increases. We have actually seen underlying price stability in our business. The margin improvement in the first half of 2011 has come from driving cost savings through our business. And as we look forward, as we launch new sites that we've acquired since the downturn on a new cost base, well, those margins on those sites are even stronger. So we can see an ability to drive margins even if prices remain stable.
And do you see a pickup in Northern England, where the main problem was just a couple of months ago? Is there a trend that sees that part of the UK also pick up?
I think it's fair to say that we've seen greater robustness and strength in the south of England. The north of England still shows some signs of fragility in the housing market, and that is why we as a business have driven our supply of homes towards the south. And in the first half of 2011 we had a greater number of sites launching in the south of England, and that sets us in good stead to drive both margins and activity through our business in the south of England.
Are mortgage approvals actually increasing, or is that your biggest concern?
Mortgage approvals have remained relatively steady now for almost a year, and I think we would see that as being the major constraint on activity for the housing market generally, and we as a house builder operating in that market clearly see that constraint, and we would look forward to mortgage approvals rising in the future, because that would allow our business to grow even quicker. And
when do you expect that to happen? I mean, when do you, for example, expect them really to hit double-digit margin growth?
Well, I think it's fair to say that the banks clearly have a business to run themselves, and we are struggling to judge when they would see mortgage approvals increasing from their current level. But as I said earlier, our business is set up to grow without there being a recovery in the marketplace, so activity and pricing as it stands now is absolutely fine for us.
What is your biggest concern for this year? Inflation?
No, I think the first-time buyer in the marketplace is struggling to buy, and that is largely driven by a lack of high loan-to-value mortgages being available. And clearly we would see any return to higher loan-to-value mortgages being available in the marketplace generally as being a major step forward. So to the extent that doesn't happen, that would be our biggest concern.
David Ritchie, you know, I know we were talking about the chances of a recession and the fact that you think Bovis Homes can actually weather the storm, but we're hearing more and more economists giving us some red alerts, some signs that actually we may be looking at double-dip recession. Do you have any figures in your mind of what the chances of that is? Is it now a 50-50 chance? Is it less than that?
Well, from our perspective, we've been weathering the storm for 4 years now, and doing pretty well in recent times in that storm. I think from us, the key for us is to drive a business that can grow even if conditions are ongoing and challenging. I don't really have a specific view as to the likelihood of double dip, but from our experience of late, there are plenty of people coming to talk to us about buying a home, largely driven by their needs, and they're finding the prices that we're charging acceptable.
All right, David Ritchie, thank you so much, the Chief Executive there of Bovis Homes.